I grew up in a rural area. There was no modern medicine. They didn't even have a clinic, and it was pretty far away. So if you're poor over there, access to medicine is very difficult. My uncle, he was a lawyer at that time, and he wanted to help the local community. So he spent money out of his pocket and did a lot of nonprofit to bring clinics, doctors in our area to help the poor population, and that kind of really inspired me to do the same.
I grew up in Pakistan actually for about 12 years of my life. So it was very apparent to me the foot and ankle dysmorphia that goes on over there, the diabetic population and the non-conservative approaches and the high rates of amputations. And so that sort of influenced me right away. I would see kids my age that were young and disabled. As I came to America and learned all the other different medical fields, and it just really always stood out to me to be able to, help somebody walk again or feel comfortable again.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to MDF Instruments Crafting Wellness Podcast.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shawn. I am a first-year medical student. I am in podiatric medicine and foot and ankle surgery.
My name is Murad. I'm going to be a first-year medical student. I'm going to start next year.
You guys are obviously friends. I would love to hear kind of how this friendship happened.
So it's funny, actually. We met in the gym. So we were actually working out. We both are from Brooklyn, New York. I was working out, he was working out, and we just looked super stressed. So I just came up to him. I don't know, it was the other way around, and we asked each other, we're like, "Hey, what's going on? Everything's good?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm studying for the MCATS." And I'm like, "Oh, me too." And then that's sort of where it clicked off. And then we just started talking about medicine, the different fields, and our interest in it. And that's sort of where it sprung into. And then we started working out regularly together. And then it just became pretty much a great friendship and bond.
How long have you guys known each other now?
Approximately 2 years, 2 to 3.
So you're both from Brooklyn, New York. And did you meet in Brooklyn then?
So we did meet at Brooklyn. It was actually a Planet Fitness gym. We were just working out, and then it was just like, you get that vibe, when you can tell another person's in medicine. And I just saw him, and I'm like, "Hey, are you all right? Everything's okay?" And then I looked pretty stressed out too. And then it ended up being the same exact thing that we're doing. We were studying for the MCATs together.
Wow. Okay. So Shawn, you're in MS1 right now, right?
Correct, correct. So it's a little bit different for podiatry. So we call it P1. So podiatric medicine is really super specific. It's like we already basically get to choose what our specialty is, and we go straight into it.
Your specialty is foot and ankle surgery, right?
Right, podiatry and foot and ankle surgery. Yep.
And that's why you're in Chicago right now?
Correct. So I'm right now in Chicago. I just moved in. It's been like 3 days. We got it all together. It's looking a little homey in here. But yeah, that's why I'm in Chicago right now. I did the whole application process. I did it this year in the beginning around February or March. There was an early decision. Interviewed at a bunch of podiatry schools, went there, checked it out, saw which one fits me best. And yeah, so I just got here. It's been 3 days and I'm looking forward to it. I start classes in about a week. I have an orientation week ahead of me too. So I'm really excited for all that.
Awesome. Okay, and Murad, what about you? You obviously have applied to medical school and you're gonna get ready to go as well. Where are you going?
Yeah, so I'm going to be attending SUNY Downstate in Brooklyn, and so similar to Shawn, I also applied through early decision program, and things works a little bit differently for SUNY Downstate. The program that I got in, it's basically conditionally accepted for the next upcoming medical class, which starts in August, and as part of the program, I have to do 2 summers of basic courses to prepare me for the medical school. So I already did first part last week. I actually completed it, and I have the next. I have a gap in between, and then the next summer I'll be doing another 1 month of pre-course, and then I'll start med school.
I didn't know that. I didn't know there were like pre-courses before you went. That's cool.
Yeah,
But the MCAT is out of the way. We did that. We passed. Everything is fine. I hear it's like an 8-hour test, right? It's a long one.
it's 8 hours. It's exhausting. On top of that, you have to prepare for it. So you're basically doing, a lot of 8-hour exams constantly, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
Did you both only have to do the MCAT once, or did you have to take it more than one time?
Just once for me.
Once as well, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so So, Shawn, we know your specialty, and Murad, you don't know what you're going to be doing yet. You're kind of still trying to decide. Do you have any idea of a direction that you want to go, or are you still just really keeping it ambiguous at this time?
I mean, I have a little bit of sense of direction where I think I might be going into sports medicine. So I love sports. I've been playing soccer for a while now, and obviously I love medicine. So I looked into sports medicine. That's something that I really like. But I have to do more. I have to shadow and find out what exactly it comes with, and then I will see. But for now, I have sports medicine in mind. I also love internal medicine as well. So those are two things that you know I'm looking into as of now.
Yeah, I saw that you're an avid soccer player and also into karate, right? I saw you had a belt of some kind. So tell us a little bit about your soccer journey. Have you been doing that your whole life?
Yes, soccer. I've been playing for a long time, ever since I was a little kid. But I started playing soccer seriously when I came here around like 2011, and I'm part of a team here in Brooklyn, local team, and I've been part of the team for about 7 years, and we are playing semi-professional, which is like you know fourth, fifth division here in the U.S. So we're going to start. Well, the season is already rolling, so I'm currently playing every weekend. I've had the pleasure to captain the team as well since 2020. So it's been going really well, and I'm very happy.
I love that. And Shawn, for you, I noticed that you're EMS. And so can you tell us a little bit about how you got started in that and how long you did that for?
So I started emergency medical technician classes actually while I was in high school in my senior year. I was 17 at the time. And I went ahead, I took the course, passed it. I think I was like the second youngest in my class because you had to be 18 to get certified. So as soon as the exam rolled out, it was actually 2 days after my birthday. So I was able to get certified and be able to work as an EMT. And then since then, I've been working for about 5 years now with a great unit in the city. It's nonprofit, and basically we do free work. Basically it works with a fundraiser, basically. So basically private people basically fund it, but we don't charge our patients anything. So it was 5 years of basically volunteering and not taking a penny from patients. So that really stood out to me, and I always sort of had an interest in emergency medicine and stuff. So it also sparked that up, and then from that I was able to gateway more opportunities. I worked also as a medical director at one of the summer camps consecutively for like 2 3 years, and so it's been a great journey with that. But it's time to put the uniform down, put the scrubs on now.
Yeah, I loved all those pictures I saw on social of you wearing the uniform and all the kind of behind the scenes of what you guys do. It's really awesome. I wonder, this is a question for both of you. What drew you to medicine? Was there a moment in your life that you like knew I want to help people, I want to get into healthcare, or what kind of drew you to this? Did something happen, or did you always know, or did you try a different path and then decide, no, actually this is where I want to go? I'd love to just hear about each of your journeys into finding this career path.
So basically, for me, I grew up in Pakistan actually for about 12 years of my life. So it was very apparent to me the foot and ankle dysmorphia that goes on over there, the diabetic population, and the non-conservative approaches, and the high rates of amputations. And so that sort of influenced me right away. I would see kids my age that were young and disable, and to be able to, it sort of drove me right away that this is my focus and this is what I wanted to do. And as I came to America and learned all the other different medical fields, and it just really always stood out to me to be able to, help somebody walk again or feel comfortable again. Or it's one of those great medical fields that's sort of like hidden, like a hidden gem, basically, I'd say. So we get to basically be professional at all levels when it comes to a foot and ankle. So it could be something like a neuro problem, then you got to put on your neuro hat for that day and be a neurologist for the foot and ankle. If it's a derm problem, you're going to be a dermatologist for that day for the foot and ankle. If it's a surgical problem, you're going to be a surgeon that day for the foot and ankle. So it's really great that I basically get to sort of get all of the specialties together and at the same time focus into what I really like to do, which is the foot and ankle.
Bones in the human foot. I know that.
Yes, yes.
Our feet take us everywhere, right? They take us everywhere we want to go from the time that we're born and learn how to walk to the very last of our days. I mean, it's actually really beautiful when you think about your feet. I know it's kind of strange, but I think about these kinds of things sometimes, and I'm like, wow, like think about all the places and all the things my feet have taken me, places I didn't want to go when I was scared, and I showed up for it anyway, and it's just, I don't know, something about that is just really beautiful to me. And I know that if your feet don't work, if you're having any kind of bone problems in your feet or ankles or nail problems, there's so many things that can go wrong in your feet because the bones are so small that it can really affect your day-to-day life and your ability to exercise and just your ability to be mobile. So I think it's a really, really important thing what you're doing. Brad, for you, what about you? What drew you to medicine? What's your kind of story of how you got here? I know probably being playing soccer and sports medicine and stuff maybe inspired that, but I'd love to hear.
So for me, it's not been a single experience, but rather it's been different string of experiences that brought me into medicine. So again, I also I grew up in Bangladesh um, for about similar to Shawn, about 10, 12 years. And early on, I grew up in a rural area where medicine was, I mean, there was no modern medicine. They didn't even have a clinic, and it was pretty far away. So if you're poor over there, access to medicine is very difficult. So my uncle, he was a lawyer at that time, and he wanted to help the local community. So he spent money out of his pocket and did a lot of nonprofit to bring clinics, doctors in our area to help the poor population, and that kind of really inspired me to do the same. I wasn't interested in law, but I love sciences. I love medicine. At that time, I didn't really know medicine. I just love sciences, asking a lot of questions. And so my uncle really, he told me about why don't you try medicine and in the future. So that's like the naive interest that I had early on. And then ever since then, I really didn't look into anything else besides medicine. So I came to US. I started pursuing a career in medicine. I started doing science classes, majoring in biochemistry eventually in college, and shadowing and doing all this other experiences that really made me learn more about what medicine is really about, as well as liking it more, getting deeper interest, seeing the hope that medicine can bring, the hope that a good doctor can bring, and that's something that I wanted to emulate as well, being a physician.
Wow, Murad, that's really beautiful. I wonder, just coming from somewhere else, both of you coming from somewhere else and seeing our healthcare system here, I'm sure that there's a lot you could see. And as you get into your future careers more, a lot of probably changes that we do a lot of things wrong here as far as the ability that we have to give people health and healthcare and access to it. But a lot medicine for profit is a big thing here, whereas I feel like in other places the profit isn't the driving force. The driving force is actually trying to help people and make them better because there's already so much suffering. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I think that medicine here, has a lot of gaps, and it needs to be addressed. And as a physician, I know that we are the leader. We'll be leader to be the voice for those that are in need, especially the poor population here that really don't have much access to medicine. Even though medicine, even though it's the U.S., we think that they have the best healthcare and all, but it's not accessible to everyone. So that's something that I'm really looking into, helping in the future. And I am gonna also, and on top of doing medicine, MD, I'm also going to study MPH, which is a Master of Public Health. That's something that I think, is gonna provide me with a lot of the knowledges that I need to help with the gap that exists in medicine.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Murad. I feel like there's definitely a lot of disparities, gaps in medicine, and I feel like we definitely need a more diverse healthcare population in order to fill that gap in and reach out to the different communities, different type of people, to be able to relate to them, not just at like a level of knowing or being from the same background, but actually understanding and comprehending the different aspects and being able to relate to that while respecting boundaries.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to be said for like preventative medicine as well. If people just don't have the education and knowledge that something can be preventable when they keep doing something that's actually hurting their bodies. Preventative medicine. We talk a little bit about that, but if you guys ever do any kind of medical mission work, go anywhere to do anything like that, I just want you to know you can always reach out to us because we love donating medical equipment. A lot of times people will take a bunch of equipment over to other places, to more rural areas who don't have the medical equipment they need to just do basic diagnostic things to find out, blood pressure and all of that. But and a lot of times we'll leave it over there. So the people that are still there, the healthcare workers over there, can have medical equipment to be able to just even do basic care for other people.
It's an amazing initiative. We'd definitely love to be part of it.
Okay, so I want to get to know you guys a little bit. Obviously, you both work out because that's how this friendship happened. You're obviously both into like keep fitness and staying healthy. What other kind of things do you guys like to do for fun? Because I know being in medical school, podiatry school, doing all of that is not easy. It takes a lot of your time. So I'd love to just hear kind of like what that balance is going to look like for you, what your plans are, and how to kind of manage your time and other things you like to do aside from medicine, other hobbies and passions.
Sadly, mines are also all a little based around fitness because I feel like for me it's just it's a quick escape, rather it be a 30-minute, 45-minute workout, or I try doing different stuff. It's not always just weightlifting. I try to get into different kind of sports, fishing. I'm gonna actually try golf for the first time now. Being that I'm in Chicago, we got a little bit more space over here than New York, so I'm gonna go ahead and try that too. But yeah, I'm really into the outdoorsy kind of stuff, kayaking and all that different stuff, which is also going to be a little hard being the high management of being a medical student and trying to balance that. But I'd say the number one thing is trying to find that balance. I feel like that's super important. Stick on to the things that you really love and like to do because you don't want to let go of that because that's when it sort of gets like imbalancey and then you'll realize that you're getting exhausted faster or you're draining too much time into a certain aspect. So try to balance everything out. As hard as it sounds, it could be done though, I think.
Couldn't agree more with Shawn. 100%. There's things that you love, and you need to continue to do that to stay sane. So what I like to do, obviously, besides medicine, I love playing soccer. I also do other sports. I do jiu-jitsu as well. Recently, I put a stop into that. I've injured myself doing that, so I had to relax a little bit. Again, Shawn, you're studying ankle and foot and ankle. Hopefully it'll help me out in the future. Yeah, and besides that, I love reading. I've been reading a lot of books over the summer, had a little bit of free time, as well as just hanging out with my friends. So how I like to manage my things is that there are certain things that I set as non-negotiables, such as taking care of yourself, working out, uh, setting aside time to socialize, go out with your friends. Um, these are the things that I set as non-negotiables. I would always make sure that I have time for those. And you do have time for those 30 minutes, 20 minutes, it doesn't have to be 4 or 5 hours. Besides studying, you can always set time to take care of yourself. And that's how I've been doing it for last couple of years. And I feel amazing. I feel great.
Yeah, it's really great advice. I think balance is always key. Being over here, I'm a big dancer, yoga person, and I have to remind you guys who are always doing the heavy lifting at the gym that stretching is very important. Okay, you got to keep your
I
flexibility.
agree.
Yeah.
I've I definitely agree. I've been doing yoga for a while now, actually. I really enjoy it.
Oh,
I do it about once or twice a week. Not the best at it, but again, because I play soccer with the team, uh, it's kind of mandatory for me to do it, but it helps me with mobility and feels so much good. Feels so much good after.
yeah, if you haven't tried, you should try hot yoga. It's amazing. It's an um in a 103-degree room if you can hang with it and a little bit of humidity, but it's definitely kind of feels like a detox, a workout, stretching, and therapy all in one thing because it's just like it's yoga, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, stretching is important, and I always have to remind the gym guys, like, hey, you guys make sure you're touching your toes still because we got to keep the mobility going. You know that.
Yeah, I can't speak on that because I need to do more of that.
Yes,
Thank you guys.
yes, this is your day.
I while I was doing jujitsu, they really made sure they were flexible because you get into such weird positions that it's like if you're not flexible, you're going to like literally fold. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine you're probably a little doing more flexibility movement than Shawn. So I guess Shawn is the one we're on. We got to make sure Shawn's stretching.
Guys, send me your workout plans.
I
I'm down for it. I'll try it.
will. How did you guys come across MDF Instruments? I'm so curious. How'd you find us?
Ooh, I have a great story for this. So actually, the first stethoscope that I did get from my class was an MDF stethoscope. So that's what I got when I was doing my EMS course. So that was sort of like the finish line. They give you all the equipment and stuff with the course. So that's what they gave me. And I still have that stethoscope to this day because I've sort of been using it. I sort of hanged it on my wall when I was actually studying for the MCATS and all that stuff. And I even brought it here with me to Chicago, actually. So yeah, it's been super reliable. I've used it in emergency medical services. So you could imagine in some of the serious situations that we get into where I have to listen to lung sounds or heart rates or blood pressure, and it's been not a problem for me. I put it at the top notch with one of the other equipments that are out there. Yeah.
Yeah. First time I actually learned about it was through Shawn. He was telling me about his EMT. He told me about MDF, how amazing they were. He's like, bro, check this out. They're so amazing. They even have social media page and whatnot. So that's when I learned about it, and I got to have one of the stethoscope as well, and I loved it. And so that's how I found out about MDF. So me and Shawn, we are planning to start a partnership in the future in social media where we want to help other pre-med student that are in you know in the DPM or MD or DO track, any medical track uh, that needs help, guidance, mentorship, whatever you call it. And we're gonna do different things such as events, mentorship, Q&As, different social media events to help them out. So that's where we're currently working on that right now.
Yeah, and I also feel it's important that we're going to go over a lot of the interprofessional practices and stuff in medicine because you don't really see collaborations like a podiatrist and someone who's doing an MD. That's something like somebody does in the long run if you work in a multi-specialty group or something like that. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, me and Murad could end up working together if he goes into like specific fields like sports medicine or orthopedics. And yeah, it's crazy how you can make these connections at a very young time and be able to steer that into the direction you want to.
Please keep us in mind too for anything you guys ever need. You want to do giveaways or do more podcasts as you guys get further down along in your journey. If you guys start doing something like that, I'm happy to get you back on to talk about whatever you're doing to help other students and other people who are getting into the medical field. But that does remind me, I do have a question for you guys. One other question. If you could tell your younger self anything, like give your younger self some advice for what you know now, what would it be?
I'd say keep going because you don't know where life is going to steer you. So I feel like definitely the keep going part. If it was short and sweet, to just keep going. That's it. Because I feel like a lot of us give up on our hopes, our dreams, and stuff a little too early, or we feel a little unaccomplished, or we feel like, oh, we can't reach that goal or that milestone that we really want to. But I feel like those two words, keep going. I feel like that really sticks to a person, and you can always you hang on that, utilize that, and yeah, I'd say keep going. Yeah.
It's an amazing advice. I would say to my younger self to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. What that means is I was always a shy person as in high school. I didn't like public speaking. Even presenting in class used to get me nervous. And something that I learned is being comfortable in an uncomfortable situation really helps someone grow. And that's one of the biggest advice that I can give myself.
It's so true too. Like we grow so much by going outside of our comfort zones, and then we're capable of so much more than we ever even thought we were. And perseverance, I mean, not giving up because you never know how close you are. Someone told me this one time. They're like, imagine that there is this is kind of weird, but just roll with me for a second. They said, imagine there's a spider crawling across the ceiling, right? And it's going all the way across the ceiling, and it's so close to the end. It's so close, but it doesn't know that it is because it can't see the end. It just turns around and goes back. But it was like this close to being, across the ceiling. It's kind of one of those things where you never know how close you are until you're at the finish line sometimes. So you got to keep going and keep persevering through all the hardships that you face. I think it's really great advice. It's been such a pleasure having you guys on the podcast. Can you please give your social media handles for everyone listening and watching who wants to come follow your journey, maybe get some more advice and talk to you more later?
Absolutely. So my Instagram handle is at Shawn Ankles, ShawnAnkles. Thank you, guys.
And my Instagram handle is at Murad _11. So that's MURADRAZZAK _11. Thank you so much.